Yup, we're breezy. It's business time.
Why is it important to reach out to the right places with the right information at the right time?
Well, mostly if you don't, people are going to do that thing where they like say you got something on your shirt and you don't, and they boop your nose. It's like one of those things. If you mislabel someone, I think it's important to show that you've looked at someone's website, what they do in the industry prior to reaching out. Shows, I think, even if you are sending mass emails, mass messages, at least pretending to take the time to personalize it is huge. I think recognizing other people's time restraints in the industry is really important. And again, going back to your initial email being so important and how to make it competitive, is if you can show talent buyer and a promoter that you have all your assets up front, and so far you seem like an easy artist to work with, and you're not going to waste their time with extra questions, having to wrangle data from you, then it really helps your cause for getting a show. And really, just most importantly, beyond getting a show, building a relationship is, it's key not to waste other people's time.
Why is it important to reach out to the right places with the right information at the right time? Because booking is all on a finite resource of time. A slot can be replaced with something else with more effort, more draw, more better fit in any day. But also, everything is so disconnected with communication. Your workflow is going to get jammed up every single day. You're going to jam up your workflow because you're not organized. And pretty much money does the same thing when the work starts getting clogged up. So your best shot is having done your research, putting something really good together, like your performance and a video of it, and getting it to the right person at the right time with the right dates in mind, and starting a conversation and a dialogue, because it's your best shot. And the only way you could survive hunting out here is by being as prepared as possible and having the timing right.
Why is it important to reach out to the right places with the right information at the right times? It's important to prevent over-communication, miscommunication, lost communication. One of the most important things you can do in this industry is respect other people's time and professional assets, what they have going on in this industry, and what it takes to be themselves, to be a talent buyer in a small market, to be a talent buyer in a large market, to operate a performing arts center, to operate a dive bar, and sets expectations for how you want to be treated. Showing people you actually read their website, understand their actual position in the industry is huge to generating a response, because believe it or not, people like being treated like people. I'm not above a mass email, but people can smell it on your breath, and yes, ultimately it's a sales booking. Ultimately is a sales position. Hey, take this thing, like your band is as weird as snake oil or a box set of hangers you don't really need. Like it's strange. It's another thing, it's intellectual property. It's amazing anyone interacts with any of our art and says, sure, why not? Let's do it. Bring it on. I think from a band's perspective, understanding what the talent buyer sees when they take on that email is really important. I think the big three documents an artist can have is an ad mat folder, an EPK, and a bio. That gives a promoter the fighting chance to be able to actually promote you. A lot of times bands say, why didn't the venue promote? Oftentimes they might just have a name to go off of, and a Bandcamp playing body cell phone footage. But if your name isn't like a household name, then just the name alone isn't good enough. But if you could arm these venues with, this is an AdMat folder I'm speaking of, with HD videos of your band, long form, also 30 second, 45, 60 second for Instagram, Facebook, generic, hey, this band's coming to your town. If you have someone in your life you could toss money to edit a video and add dialogue each time, or if it's something you can do, like you have the video and the text already set up, all you have to go into Movie Maker or something and just edit real quick. I don't know. A bio is huge, something to write about you, and different forms of it, you know. There's a long form, you can have one about your past release, a history of accolades. Some people will hit you with the 2-pager. I think it's important to have a smaller one people can easily put on ticket pages, and then something longer for maybe their programming. And then the EPK just explains who you are if they don't know who you are. A lot of times, like, music people want to know, like, you know, when they're hearing from agents who represent multiple artists and they're like, do you know so-and-so? Do you know so-and-so? Do you know so-and-so? They're like, oh, I know so-and-so, but who's so-and-so? If they want to be in the know, like, especially in niche genres, if you're like, hey, I got another black metal band, they're like, who? I thought I knew all the black metal. They're like offended. Like, everyone, you have to understand, like, bands have the expectations that people are out there, like, looking for them. They really are. There are like agents and managers and labels just like Googling stuff, listening to things, and checking their inboxes and listening to stuff. Listen to stuff all day. We're in the music industry. It's a perk of the job. If people can't find you or don't know who you are, that's probably on you. And having an EPK, again, it's just another gap to address. It's, hey, this is that band. Oh, I don't know that band. Well, here's their EPK. Here's their bio. All the shows they've played, all the radio stations they've been on. Here's a couple really sexy live videos. Here's some accolades and press for them. Oh, this band, okay, they're cool. Now I know them. Now they're in my database. Now when the next person comes along and says, do you know this band? They're like, duh, I know this band. Of course I know this band. They did this, this, and this. And the more people who can view your EBK and be in the industry know about you and at least drop a I've heard of you, it's huge for, you know, getting gigs. Word travels. It's a small industry. And going back to the original point about how not to miscommunicate is, if you can show up with a writer with all your needs as a band, if you can offer to make a contract, and you can easily edit contract, produce an AdMat folder, an EPK, a bio, live videos, if you can communicate all your financial needs, any needs about accommodations, all your technical needs, a technical writer, people show up and they're like, I need 7 DI boxes. You could have thrown us a bone, said something, you know, and again, it's on the venue's call to act, to maybe be like, hey, so you got 4 keyboards, you gonna plug them in or what, you know, on both parties. If you're a new venue owner or someone looking to promote addressing any of the needs of the bands, I'm terrible personally with sending people their set times. And then oftentimes, like the week of, someone's like, oh, I can't do it at that time, can I do it a little later? And then you move things around and it just screws things up. So I'm very pro, like, if you can front end all the communication in advance, here's where you'll be. There's 4 slots. You're the second one, even if you don't have the other acts in the bill, you just section acts off that way. There will or will not be a backline. What is being backlined? Again, there's this, you know, what we consider cosmic to-do list of things that have to be accounted for a show to be done right on the promoter's end, on the band's end, from the venue's end. And I think if both parties could address every item on the list, who's doing what, keeping in constant communication is huge. You know, people confirm a show 2 months later. Hey, show's tomorrow, are we still good? Oh, I forgot about this. We didn't actually confirm. Trying to have a dialogue maybe every 2 weeks in a non-pestering way about how the process is going. Listen, after you book 15 shows, you'll know the 16 things that have to happen to make a show good. If you don't see the other party involved doing their end of the spectrum, just offer to help. Can I make a poster? Can I make a flyer? Can I make an event page? Oftentimes they'll be like, oh my god, yes, I'm so sorry I couldn't do it. I have 900 shows. You're a band who only has a tour or 2. You got 26. This venue's got 200 something. Throw them a bone. I think one of the biggest takeaways from the course is really just understanding what the other industry players go through. If your venue, understanding all the 10 million hassles the band has to deal with. But again, as a band, empathize with promoters having wild inboxes, with having venues not paying them and their bankroll being messed up and preventing them from promoting, and 10 million intricacies involved with each position in the industry, and how you can communicate in a way that prevents people from being holed up. Because when people sit down to do work on whatever project we're talking about, an event, a festival, etc., if they can sit down and all their ducks in a row are in one place, they have all the information there, they're who, what, when, why, where, they're more apt to have a productive 30 minutes. That's how long, industry professionals really should be spending on some of these endeavors. But it's when 30-minute projects turn into 10-hour projects is when parties become not willing to work with each other again, where it's just not worth it. If it was going to be a break even financially just on the show and tickets and promo and stuff, if I said promo was the last thing for people to remember in their budgets, then time is the absolute furthest thing on people's thoughts for how they should compensate themselves and compensate others. Just remember that if you're hitting someone's inbox with a 36 email about a show that's going to make you $50 and probably make them 10, they probably have you in like a blacklist somewhere, just in somewhere of their mind. They're like, that person's annoying as fuck. I cannot 36 emails with that person again. I cannot. So just think about that. Just think about that when you triple email, or when you shoot someone text, did you get my email? Like, shut the fuck up, bro.